Hey there kids, welcome to lesson 11 for 5th grade Eureka Math. This is the homework page and welcome to my video, and do be a subscriber. Oh, here comes the air conditioner like a bear, it's just so loud. Do be a subscriber, then you will be notified when I upload a new video, and this can help you keep you on track if you're doing these homework support videos to help this year. So anyway, what is this lesson all about? If you check at the bottom of the page, the lesson is about multiplying decimal fractions by a single digit whole number. And then we're relating it to this written method through the application of an area model and place value understanding. Everything connects to place value. And so what I would recommend, if you don't really understand this when we get going, is go watch my problem set video. It has great instruction. I'm sorry, but it is a great video. I just went back and watched it myself. And so go watch the video. It really will help teach you what this is all about. Now let's get into the homework so you can practice your skills. Now again, my recommendation is do this first, then check against the video. But try it on your own. The whole idea behind the homework is try it on your own. Now we're going to be using these place value discs on the chart, and we have to write an equation. So we have to draw discs, we have to write an equation, and express the product in standard form. So you have to do 3 things for each of these. I would like to say section off your work by giving yourself some space to work in, because we're going to have little charts that look like this and it can be very confusing and messy. So when we start talking about copies, it's just like a Xerox machine, a copy machine. You're repeating something. So if I have 2 copies of 4/10, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a place value chart. I know I need tenths because it says so right here, tenths. That's going to be right here next to the decimal. I may as well just put my ones place right there, because when I have my 2 copies of 4/10, we're just going to place the discs on the chart. So do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4/10. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 makes 4. Here's 4/10. But I need 2 copies of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my place value chart. Done. I also have to write an equation. So when we're taking this and we're turning it into numbers. 2 times 4/10 is going to look like this in standard form. And then we're also going to put the product, which is the answer, to a multiplication problem. Product means answer to multiplication. Okay, a product isn't the answer to every problem, just for multiplication. And so 2 times 4 is 8, but it's 2 ones times 4/10. And so what happens is we have 8/10. Look, right here is the answer. 8/10 is the answer when you have 2 copies of 4/10. So what does that look like? It looks like this. And so this is your equation, check, and this is your product in standard form, check. So that's what everything should look like. Place value chart, equation, answer in standard form. Okay? You got this. Try some on your own, pause the video, come back and check. Okay, 4 groups of 5/100. So you're going to want to have a little place value chart. If I have 5/100, I mean, you really only need like 2 place value positions. So we're going to do, I like the fraction form a little bit, because if you put hundredths, then it's a lot of spelling errors really. So if this is hundredths, then this is going to be your tenths place, and then this would be where your decimal lives. Please try to make your decimal solid, and try not to confuse it with your place value discs. Okay, so if I have 4 groups of 5/100, then I'm going to have 5/100 once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 3 times 4, 5, and 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with place value, we have a base 10 system. So what's going to happen when I do my standard algorithm over here, like in my equation, I have 4 times 5/100, like that, okay? And I know that 4 times 5 is 20, and I can count it here, 5, 10, 15, 20, but where does the decimal go? So what you want to do is you want to get used to seeing, okay, if I have 20 hundredths, then it's going to look like 20 hundredths like that. So what would happen if I was counting groups of 10 and regrouping them is I would have one group that would be here and another group that would be here, which would give me 2/10, which is what I get. And then I would have 0 left in this position. And again, it's all because the place value position to the left is 10 times greater than the one on the right, which a lot of students are still struggling with at this point. Let's move on. 4 times 7/10. Tenths, decimal, ones. Okay, and if I have 7/10 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7/10 4 times. 4 times 7/10. We know 4 times 7 is 28, or at least if you counted them, you could figure it out. Then when you regroup, you've got your 28, but it was ones times tenths, which is going to give you 28/10. 28/10 looks like this because the 8 is in the tenths place. If you were to regroup these, you would go 7, 8, 9, 10. Make a group of 10, move them over. Done. Make another group of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops. Whoop. Okay. 2, 4, 9, 10. And then we'd have 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's the 8 that are still in the tenths place, and here's the 2 that are in the ones place. So you have a picture of your equation and your answer. 3 times 5 hundredths. So again, hundredths, tenths, 5 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3 times. 3 times 5 hundredths is, we know, 15. So what's it going to look like? What digit is in the tenths place? 5, 10. I have at least 1. How much do I have left? So I'm going to have 1/10 and 1 5 in the hundredths place. So this is what it looks like. Also, ones times hundredths make hundredths, 15 hundredths. Okay, and then that's going to come up in another lesson. That's why I keep saying it. 9 times as much as 7/10. So we're going to have our tenths and our ones. And we have 7/10. 9 times as much is really just the 9 times 7/10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so on. I'm just going to go ... You can keep making them. You would make 9 sets of 7. But the answer is going to be 9 times 7 is 63. But what is it? It's 9 ones times 7/10, so it's going to be 63/10, which means I'm going to have 6 sets of regrouping, 6 in the ones place, with 3 left over after making all my sets of 10 and moving them over. This is your answer. I hope that makes sense, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, that would take me forever if I had to go ... Continue. Okay, 6 thousandths times 8. So 5 thousandths this time, and they've switched the location. Notice that they switched it around. It's 8 times 6 thousandths, but this is telling me where I am. Thousandths place, hundredths place. If we had to regroup again, we'd make the tenths place over here. Okay, but we're going to start out here. It's 6 thousandths, 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Okay, so you're creating 6 thousandths 8 times. So it's 8 times 6 thousandths. I don't even have room over here, so I'm not even going to try. Just put the answer line below. 8 ones times 6 thousandths makes 48 thousandths. If this is in the thousandth place, you're going to back it up so that 4 would be in the hundredths place. That makes sense because I'm going to regroup every time I have 10. If this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every time I have 10, I bump it over. Here's 1 that takes the place of 10 in the lower position. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. They want you to really spend the time getting used to 10 of these in the lower value make 1 of these in the higher. If you understand that, pat yourself on the back. If you keep going, it says draw a model similar to the one pictured below. On the back of this page, that's where you're going to do it. It's over here. Find the sum of the partial products. Partial meaning part of the product, and we're going to put the whole thing together one part at a time. To evaluate, that means solve each expression. Here's the expression. So what we're going to do is we're going to take apart each number that we're multiplying by, and each place value position will then get multiplied by the other factor, so the 4. So here you've got your place value ones, tenths, hundredths. Label it in unit form on the top. Solve or set up here. I usually will also, like I might tend to write it in unit form in the box just to help the kids along. So I'll do like 24 ones, because when you write it in standard form on the bottom, standard form, that's going to help you set up so that you can add. And notice that they add, and we may have decimals in standard form, and it's across, it's horizontal, and that just bothers me to no end because lining up the decimals is a little bit harder for kids when it's horizontal. So anyway, final answer here. Again, this is just what we were doing up here, but I was kind of talking through it. 28 tenths, unit form. 36 hundredths. And I usually abbreviate. And so now we're going to take these uniforms and we're going to make standard form. And you'll see what I mean in a second. 24 ones is just 24, but 28 tenths looks different. That's going to be a 2.8. And 36 hundredths looks like that. Now, I always encourage the kids, this is your book, write in it. When we add, line things up vertically and watch out for the decimals. See what I mean by everything is out of order. There's a big slant, and it's going to be like that a lot on the back side. So make sure that everybody understands that you can fill in with zeros, and it might help them block it out, and it certainly can help with place value and neatness and the whole bit. Now we can add in columns, and then if we have to regroup, we're not going to lose track of where that 1 goes. So 6, and then 8 and 3, 9, 10, 11. 1 goes down, 1 goes up. 4, 5, 6, 7. Decimal down. That's a funny looking 7, so sorry. And the 2 comes down. Final answer, 27 and 16 hundredths. Back of this one. So this is what I'm talking about, where you got to make your box, and it needs to be at least 3 place value positions. And then above it, you're going to write the unit form of the factor that's not the single digit. So it's going to be like 7 ones, 4 tenths, 9 hundredths, THS, okay? And then on the inside, you're going to take that factor and you're going to multiply it single digits at a time. So 6 times 7 ones, 6 times 4 tenths, and 6 times, 6 times 9 hundredths, THS, abbreviating again. And then at the bottom, I'm going to solve that in unit form. So 6 times 7, got to know your facts, kids. You have to know your facts. Practice on multiplication.com. Practice with flashcards. Practice with your parents, your brothers, sisters, anyone, friends. 24 tenths, 54 hundredths. Standard form below. We're going to add up all these little pieces so that we can have our final column vertical addition over here. I know the word. Okay, 42. 24 tenths looks like what? Like that. 54 hundredths looks like that. Now they're not in the same column. It's not 42 plus 24 plus 54. They're not in the same column. It's 42 ones and then 24 tenths or 2 and 4 tenths. 0 ones and 54 hundredths. So you're slanting it all over here. And then you can see that the only thing in this place value position is the 4. The only 2 digits here make 9. Decimal down, 2 and 2 make 4. 4 comes down. Final answer, 44 and 94 hundredths. This can be a very helpful method when multiplying. It's like a tool for your toolbox, okay? 9 copies of 3 and 65 hundredths. It's going to be 3 boxes. Take the unit form, 3 ones, 6 tenths, 5 hundredths, THS. And then set it up inside with a 9 times 3 ones, 9 times 6 tenths, 9 times 5 hundredths, THS. Solve. 27 ones, 54 tenths, 45 hundredths, THS. Standard form answers below. 27 ones, easy enough, but 54 tenths need to end in the tenths position. 45 hundredths must end in the hundredths position. Add them vertically because they're not lined up. 5.4, 0.45. When we do this, we're going to get that final answer. There's no other hundredths, so I can bring the 5 down. No other tenths besides the 2 4s, that makes 8. 7 and 5 is 12, carry the 1, 2 and 1 is 3, and that's your final answer there. And final one, we have more place value positions, so be careful with your box. It's going to be a little bit longer. I think I'll start over here. It's going to be kind of smashed. Try to write small. Also, for the 0, you technically don't need to have the space. I will put it in this one, but we won't use it anymore. And I'm going to make it really small. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. So 1, a small one for the 0, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So this is going to be the 2 10s. I have 0 ones. Let's just put that there so we can understand that that's a place value position. 1 tenth, 7 hundredths, 5 thousandths. THS, abbreviating again for speed. Now you're going to multiply the 3 times each digit. So 3 times 2 tens, 3 times 0 ones, 3 times 1 tenth, 3 times 7 hundredths, 3 times 5 thousandths. Put the answers in standard form inside the box. 3 times 2, 6 tens. Now notice that this is tens, and if it's 6 tens, that's going to look like what when you have standard form? Think about it. 3 times 0 ones is going to make 0 ones. When we have 0, I'll show you why we don't eventually need the whole thing, because it just is going to give us 0. 3 times 1 tenth, 3 tenths. 3 times 7 hundredths, 21 hundredths. 3 times 5, 15 thousandths. Standard form, add them together. Okay, so we have our 6 tens. If I have 10 6 times, I get 60. If I have 0 ones, I will have 0. 3 tenths, we've got our place value positions coming along. 21 hundredths ends in the hundredths place. 15 thousandths ends in the thousandths place, and I only have 2 digits. So hold that tenths place with a 0. Then the hundredths has a 1. Then the thousandths has the 5. It's got to be 3 digits to the right. Now, when you're adding all this up, okay, you can see that there are just little digits to the right. Some teachers might say, this is really good practice for you because you can start in the third position over and see that there is no hundredths and there is no hundredths. So the only one that would be over here is the 5. I still say, take everything and line it up. Especially, you don't have to take the 0 though, especially if your adding skills are kind of weak and you tend to make mistakes. Take the time to just write it out. 0, 1, 5, and now you can see what I'm talking about, that the 5 is out here all by itself. Okay, the ones you're going to combine, the 1 in the hundredths place here and the 1 in the hundredths place here makes for 2 hundredths. 3 plus 2 is 5, decimal down. 0 ones, all the way through there were no ones. So that has to hold that position, and 6 in the tens place. So you end up with a 60.525 as your final answer for that. And you've got your place value, you've got your unit form, you've got your adding, and this method can work, so please use it if it helps you. Let's see, how are we doing on time? My gosh, that took a while. Okay, Leanne multiplied 8 times 4.3 and got 32.24. Is she correct? Use an area model. We're going to use this model to explain. So take this and set it up again. We only have 2 place value positions, so that's a smaller box. And it's 4 ones, 3 tenths. So write that. Then we're going to do 8 times 4 ones and 8 times 3 tenths. Put your answer. 8 times 4 is 32 ones. 8 times 3 is 24 tenths. Standard form, going to look a little bit different. 32 ones, normal. 24 tenths, not normal. 2.4, that's 24 tenths. Now, since we only have 2 numbers, and this one has no decimal, what you can do is you just put your answer line and you say, okay, I know there are no tenths here, so that will make the 4 stand alone. I know that I have 2 ones here and 2 ones here, that makes 4 ones, and I only have 1 3 in the tens place, so my final answer is a 34 and 4 tenths. So look at what she got and answer the question, is she correct? No. Leanne did not add or did not calculate the digits, it's squeaking today, in the right place value columns. And then I don't want to like waste a whole bunch of time. It looks like she just put these two together, 32 plus 24. It's like she just ran them together and said 3224. See, that's what that is. But we know that that's not correct because this is the ones place and this is the ones place. So you really have to watch out for place value. It super matters. It's very important. Okay, and then finally, oh, this one's a doozy. Sorry, this might take a while. Anna buys groceries for her family. Hamburger meat is $3.38 per pound. Sweet potatoes are 79 cents each. And then always kind of identify the important parts of the question. Hamburger rolls are $2.30 a bag. Here, if Anna buys 3 pounds of meat, okay, that's going to go with this one. 5 sweet potatoes, which is going to go with that one, and 1 bag of hamburger rolls, what will she pay in all for the groceries? So we're basically just taking the hamburger meat for how many pounds, price per pound times that. So that's going to be the 3 times $3.38. Okay, that's just like this, but with a dollar sign. Okay, or just like the ones up above, but with a dollar sign. So don't be afraid. And then the 5 sweet potatoes, which is going to be 5 times the 79 cents, just like above, but with a dollar sign. And then the hamburger rolls, she only got 1 bag, and they're $2.30 a bag, so we don't have to do anything with that. You can just add that on at the end. Okay. Standard algorithm, if you know how to use it, but we're going to use the area model today because that's what the method is teaching us. So if you did know the standard algorithm, I would say go ahead, it takes up less room. Okay, we're going to do our 3 boxes. 3 ones, 3 tenths, 8 hundredths, THS, abbreviate, and then 3 times 3 ones, 3 times 3 tenths, 3 times 8 hundredths. Uniform answer, 3 times 3 is 9 ones, 3 times 3 is 9 tenths, and 3 times 8 is 24 hundredths. And then we're going to have our standard form below and add them together, 9 ones, 9 tenths, and then the 24 hundredths looks like that. So we are going to have a column where we have to regroup. So 0.9 and 0.24. We're going to add these together to get our final answer. 4 is fine over here. There's nothing to add, but here we have to regroup. 9 plus 2 is 11. Decimal down, carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is also regrouped into the tens place. So we have $10.14, and that is for the meat. Okay. Then for this one, I think I'll just make it neater and move it over. 5 times 79 cents. Okay. 5 times 79 cents is going to be here, and it's going to be 7 tenths and 9 hundredths, and we need 2 boxes, and this is going to be 5 times 7 tenths and 5 times 9 hundredths. 5 times 7 is 35 tenths. Watch out for the decimal on that one. And 45 hundredths. Oh, it's so squeezy. Hundredths. Annoying. Okay. Standard form plus standard form. 35 tenths. Now remember, if it ends in tenths, it has to be only the place to the right. So that's going to be 3.5. 45 hundredths is more normal with 2 digits. Line them up over here. 3.5 and 0.45. And notice that when I add these, I don't have any regrouping here. 5 and 4 makes 9, no regrouping. Decimal down, $3.95 for the sweet potatoes. Swapot. There we go. But we are not done. We have to find out what she'll pay in all, and we have to include the hamburger rolls. So we have like very little room, and I'm going to squeeze it into the middle, and I hope you guys can see it. So we'll take our $10.14, very carefully lining up place value, $3.95 for the sweet potatoes, and 1 bag of hamburger rolls at $2.30 a bag. Add them up, column by column. 5 and 4 is 9. 9 and 1 makes 10, plus 3 is 13. Decimal down, carry the 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 1 comes down. This is all money, and I like to say she will pay $16.39 for all her groceries. And so I hope this is helpful. Sorry it was so long, and I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.